Hey YouTube, it's Dawson Rider here with a review of the Ben 10 Omniverse alien feature figures of Feedback and Eatle. Before I get started, I'm not going to completely go over the packaging because it's pretty much the exact same thing you've been seeing in all these reviews. But I just want to point out something kind of funny, which I'm sure most of you have noticed already. But on the back, they advertised the wrong Edel. This is like a hybrid between the actual design, which we have here, and the prototype that was shown at Toy Fair. Because the prototype pretty much looked like this, but without the green clothes. And so they're still advertising like that on the boxes, and I think on the website it's still there. So I don't know what their problem is, but they messed up. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these figures. I'll do Feedback first because he's on the left, and because he's from Kid Ben, so that's like in order. So what you get is you get Feedback, you get this little stand, and this little voice box here. I'll go over the figure first and then show the voices. So here we have Feedback. He is a fairly large figure in comparison to the Alien Collection, obviously. He's around 6-ish inches, maybe a little taller, a little smaller, depending on the figure. Like Edel's a little smaller height-wise, but his horn's tall, but this guy's taller, but he's slouching. But anyway, I think the figure itself actually looks really nice. The paint all looks really good. The head sculpt looks really nice. I think they did a great job of capturing the way Edel looks in the show. Feedback looks in the show. His eyes even kind of glossy. His mouth can move up and down depending if you want to open or close mouth. But I just think they did a really good job of capturing his personality. All the paint on him is very nice. He's a pretty basic color scheme with the black and white. But I still think it looks fairly nice. All the paint looks good on him. No mistakes. You got his little fingertips here, which are all golden, and then his antennas that like to fall off, which I will talk about that in just a second. Here we have the Omnitrix here. It is a little bit white, which is kind of annoying because it's supposed to be gray on the outside more. I mean, it still shows it's gray, but it looks a little whiter. But anyhow, overall it looks good. Let me take these off for a sec, because when you get these, when you get this figure, these do have to be attached because of the way the packaging is. That's him after he gets a haircut. So for articulation, his arms can rotate around 360. When you have the antennas on, they will be hindered. His legs can move forward a little bit and back a little bit, but nothing too major. You can't get any crazy poses out of him. So as I said, when you get these, you have to attach the antennas, and you can kind of move them around which way you want, depending on how you want to pose him or your space, which is all cool. And your creature feature, or alien feature, what is the feature? Well, if you press this lever on the back here, he gets surprised. He's like, what? I didn't hear that. What? What? And then he's like, oh, I just lost an ear. Did you hear about that? I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about that stuff. But so that's okay, I guess. It's kind of fun. Like, it amuses my 5-year-old self for a few seconds. And you can move the antennas around to get different little reactions if you want. But so that's the extent of what he does. That is his feature. And those on mine are extremely loose. So I just have to be careful with that. That's one of my main complaints against the figure, is that these antennas are loose. But so let us set him aside for a second here. So he's all cool. Here's the stand you get, which you get with both of them. It is reminiscent of the top of the Omnitrix and a Generation 1 Digivice. And it has a bunch of little pegs on it to set him on. The instructions show you setting him at an angle, but I think it's kind of stupid, and I'll show you why in a minute. Because you're supposed to combine it with this, and I'll show that in just a second. But here's the little voice box here. It's just all basically black. You have an Omnitrix symbol here. You press it, and you get 2 different phrases, and then you unlock a 3rd phrase by plugging it into the Omnitrix Touch. So let's go ahead and do that.
Get ready to be thrown for a feedback loop.
He says, get ready to get thrown for a feedback loop, and
oh yeah, feedback.
And oh yeah, feedback. That is one of his lines from the pilot episode. The more things change. So then, to get the 3rd phrase, you just plug it in here to the Omnitrix Touch and press the button.
Want your energy back? Then have it.
So as you want your energy back, then have it. And then you have to summon all your strength to pull it out, because it's kind of difficult. Okay, so what they want you to do here is plug this in, like this, and then put him at an angle, which is weird. I mean, I like the idea of creating sort of a cool stand for the figure that has voices. But what I like to do, instead of showing it like the instructions and having him looking at an angle, is I plug him in here and then just kind of swing his foot around just to sit. So he's on a stand, and then you can be like,
oh yeah, feedback.
And he's voiced, I believe he's voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, so it sounds pretty cool. I like the way he does that, and you can kind of tell more in this than I could in the first episode. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Edel. Edel was one of the last new alien transformations introduced in the Ultimate Alien series, and he's making a comeback, but this time with a radical redesign. So I'm just going to quickly bring in to show you here. Here is the original Edel figure from the Ultimate Alien line, or the original, or the last Ben 10 line. You can get a size difference feel for the figure, but also just of how much he was redesigned. This guy was more of a dark blue and light blue. This guy's more black and gray. I guess this is a black, it just comes off a little dark blue. And it's like, it's a black and blue. And this guy's black and gray. He had no clothes on. His mouth was different. And the Omnitrix was around the same place, but you get the idea here. I really liked old Edel's design. I actually quite liked it, but I kind of like the new one better. But so just to give you an idea of that, but so he got a more radical redesign for the comeback, and his powers are pretty much that of Upchuck's. Slightly different, but it's okay. I kind of like Edel. So, but overall, like I said, I really do like the new design. I think it makes him look more alien bug-like. And they did a good job again on the figure here. It looks really good. The head looks really good. It's kind of weird to call it a head sculpt because it's like all this one body thing. But it looks really good. The paint looks really good. His personality kind of comes out. His mouth doesn't really open or anything. But that's fine. Down here you have his clothes. You can tell it's 16-year-old Ben's because, well, the Omnitrix is white out here and he's got green clothes. He's got his little arms here, his legs, here's the back, his horn, which you can see up here. This is where the laser is going to come out of. It's another difference is in the original series he would eat and then like the laser would just kind of come out of this thing here. But here it's kind of like this laser thing here, which is cool. The original series. The original Edel, I mean. Articulation-wise, his arms can go around 360, it's possible, but they are hindered by his horns here, so they're stopped unless you want to break the horns off, which I don't advise doing. And then just move these around like this. You can move it all the way like this, and a little bit to the side, but like the other one, not much posing going on here. Now his feature is, like, brace yourself. Are you ready? Because this is like the funnest feature I've ever had on a toy. Whee! Yeah, kind of boring. They're both kind of boring with their creature features or their alien features or whatever. His is probably the most boring, but what are you going to do? So you get this stupid little stand, which I've already showed. It's the exact same thing, so I'm not going to pick it up again right now. And here's his little voice box. Let's go over his phrases.
I'll chew you up and spit you out.
I'll chew you up and spit you out.
Take like victory to me.
And this is that. Can't really tell. I think he has a different voice than an Ultimate Alien. So I'll plug it into the Omnitrix Touch, and you get those sounds. So that's cool. So that is about it. I will quickly do this. Plug this into the side here, and then I do the same thing here. I plug his foot in here, and then just kind of, whoops, I just totally unplugged him. I plug his foot in here and then just kind of swing around to stand on this one. So he's got the stand here. So overall, I actually quite enjoy these figures. I mean, the little like feature of him moving his ears up or his horn forward is kind of lame. But I think the figures look really nice. I mean, they have really good paint jobs. They look pretty show accurate. At least I assume Edel does because I haven't seen him yet. But they look pretty show accurate. They make really cool display pieces. And I really like the little voice boxes they come with for extra sounds. It gives you incentive to buy them. And it's something kind of neat that works with the Omnitrix in a way. Oh, by the way, this doesn't do anything for the Omnitrix itself. Like, there's no... I turned it on at first. There's no, like, input sounds or anything. So this makes no sounds whatsoever. All the sounds are here. But anyway, I just think that's kind of neat. And I just overall like the idea of them. I like this line. Since the 4-inch line is now 3.75 inches and it's scaled down, I find this to be a cool line to have. I think they make really good display pieces. I think there's elements that can be fun for kids, just for having an action figure, some little features, and for the noises. And I enjoy the noises, and I like that they have little stands for, like, you know, the collectors. I mean, they're not the best because of the stupid serious amount of spikes and you have to finagle them, but it's still cool. Like, you have these on the shelf like this and you're like, oh, who's that? This is Feedback. And then you just press the button and like, who's this? Edel. He just goes, he just raps. That's rapping Edel. But so I really like them. So I can definitely recommend them. I think they're really good additions for a Ben 10 fans collection. I like both of them. They're very cool. I believe, as of this recording, the only other ones we've seen that are going to be coming out is a Forearms figure, which does some punching stuff, and then a Crash Hopper, which will probably have some sort of jumping gimmick. So I will be getting those when they do hit store shelves, so look forward to that. So I believe that about wraps it up. Until next time, make sure you check out WritersRangersRambles.com for token news in the craziest way possible. Until next time, it's Dawson Ryder, signing out.